If you've been told that losing weight is just about eating less and moving more and you've watched it fail over and over again, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you why every diet you've tried has backfired and how I broke the cycle for good. We're told that weight loss is simple math. Calories in, calories out, eat 1200, 1500 calories a day, hit the gym, and the weight falls off. And at first it does, until it doesn't. Until you're standing in front of the fridge at midnight, ravenous, and nothing is off limits. But here's what no one tells you. Your hunger isn't a willpower problem. It is a hormone problem. And I'm not talking about estrogen or sex hormones. I'm talking about insulin, leptin, adiponectin, and ghrelin. You've likely never heard of these other than insulin, and probably not really outside of the context of type 1 or type 2 diabetes. But the moment I understood these key fat burning, fat storage, and hunger hormones, everything changed. Not just my weight, but my chronic pain, my energy, and my entire relationship with food. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 things: why I kept yo-yoing after every single diet, how I accidentally cured my joint pain that I didn't even know was fixable, and the 1-month adaptation hack that made keto actually work, and how my body found its own happy weight without me obsessing over the scale. And I did all of this with barely any exercise because at the time I was in too much pain to really move or do anything other than walking. Hi, I'm Kim. I have lost over 12 kilograms and kept it off for over a year now. I'm still in a cut, bulk, maintenance phases. I go through phases in life. But what's never happened since fixing my diet has been completely rebounding. I've had no rebounds, no binging. My approach has been animal-based, sometimes carnivore, paired with well-timed intermittent fasting. And after years of waking up with pain in my feet, my ankles, my knees, and especially my lower back due to hypermobility, I now wake up pretty much normal. So let me show you how. So every single time I've lost weight in the past, the same thing happened. I'd track macros, stay in a calorie deficit, and the scale would drop. 5 kilos, 10 kilos. I was ecstatic. But the moment I tried to take a diet break or hit my goal weight, the hunger would hit me like a freight train. I would gain it all back plus more, sometimes an additional 10 kilos to what I was originally at. And this is what I didn't know at the time. And if you're a follower of Dr. Ben Bikman, then you'll know if you're eating low calorie, but you're still including carbs and snacks throughout the day, you are constantly spiking your insulin and your body gets the fat storage signal from your master fat storage hormone, insulin. Pair that with less food going into your body, and what you're going to realize is that your body will start to adapt. This is called metabolic adaptation. It's where your body basically says, okay, it's been 6 weeks, this is all we're getting, we better lower the output, and this is where you'll notice a plateau. And when you finally eat normally again, you're in a surplus because now your low calorie diet has become your new normal. And this is what people mean when they say like, oh gosh, I could just look at a cupcake and gain weight. It's not that the diet didn't work, it's just that your hormones are working against you the whole time. And again, the hormones that I'm talking about are hormones like insulin, leptin, adiponectin, and ghrelin. And these are the hormones that control your fat storage, your hunger, and whether or not your body can even burn fat for fuel, or whether you're just going to end up feeling fatigued and get stuck in fat storage mode instead. So think of it like this. Your body has a fridge and a freezer, and the fridge is the food that you just ate. It's the glucose in your bloodstream, it's the glycogen that's in your muscles, and this is all immediately accessible energy, right? But the freezer, that is your stored body fat, and your body is smart. It's always going to raid the fridge before the freezer. So why is this? It is much easier for your body to go to the fridge than it is for the freezer. And if you keep restocking the fridge every few hours with carbs and snacks, your body never has a reason to try and open the freezer. It doesn't need to thaw out that long stored fat that it's been waiting to use for a famine, because there's always fresh food available, and your body hates opening the freezer. It's harder, it takes more effort. But unless you completely clear out the fridge, your body can't tap into the freezer, and that's the key. You have to let the fridge go empty. Your body's doing something incredibly smart, something it had to do as part of evolution to keep you alive. It stores your body fat for difficult times, for famines, for survival. It doesn't know that food is abundant these days. And it doesn't know they live 5 minutes away from a grocery store. It's just running on ancient programming. Us having food immediately available, that's only been in the past maybe 200 years that that's a thing. Think about how long human history has been, where we had to have these amazing adaptations that allowed us to fast for long periods of time and then feast and then fast again. So you have to control your environment. You have to give your body the signal that it is safe to burn fat. And that signal is lowering your insulin. It is giving your body time in between meals, eating differently, and it's about clearing out the fridge so that your body just goes and accesses the freezer. I found all of this out from Dr. Ben Bickman's work on insulin resistance. It's not about willpower, it's not about discipline, it's about understanding that your body is responding logically to the signals that you're giving it. If you keep your insulin high, your body will fight you, and if you lower your insulin, your body will work with you. And once I understood that, I started experimenting. I started fasting, I went low carb, and then almost fully carnivore. I just kept in some berries. But here's the wildest part. I wasn't even exercising. I couldn't, because like I said, I was just in too much pain to hit the gym. So I have hypermobility, and that means that my joints are too flexible, which sounds like a cool party trick until you realize that I get chronic pain in my feet, my ankles, my knees, and especially my back every morning getting out of bed. I'm just negotiating with my body, trying to get it to move, and then one day I got bucked off of a horse. Now that's not a metaphor, I literally got bucked off of a horse. I was riding a friend's horse, and unfortunately he started bucking and he threw me to the ground. I hit the ground hard. I had serious sciatic pain shooting through my right side. I couldn't stand or walk for long periods of time. I didn't have a gym membership. Not that I could have used it, but I was just trying to walk as much as I could comfortably walk without making things worse. So I really needed something that was purely diet-based, because I just couldn't out-exercise this. I couldn't do the move more part of the eat less, move more. And so I had to fix this from the inside out. But the crazy thing was, one morning I woke up, I was maybe about a month into eating this way and changing my diet, and I got out of bed and I was walking to the bathroom, and I stopped because I realized that my feet didn't hurt. For reference, for months and months, I had pain in my, like the bottom part of my feet, like the heel part of my feet and the ball of my foot, and I'd be just limping around for a while, trying to like come to terms with being awake and get the blood flowing. I thought it was maybe a blood flow issue. It felt like the bottom of my feet were bruised. So here's the thing, the absence of pain is invisible. You don't notice when something stops hurting, you just notice when it hurts. So I had to start journaling, and I realized that that pain in the morning had been gone for maybe about a week or so. I just hadn't been paying attention. So turns out the inflammation that I was experiencing was very diet driven. The carbs, the seed oils, the processed foods, they were all causing me a lot of pain. And when I removed them, the pain left too. The weird thing is that if I go out and I eat outside of that diet, I notice that the next day I wake up and I have the pain again. I made banana bread the other day thinking, oh yes, I can save some bananas and maybe just do like a low sugar version of this. But even including those carbs back into my diet, I maybe should have eaten maybe one slice. I ended up having 2 slices, so that's definitely my fault. But the next day I woke up and I had crazy pain in my feet, and my hips started going off all day at me. So I realized, no, I can't do that. So even now I'm still sort of noticing how I react to certain foods. Now, it's worth noting, I've also had medical procedures done on my back. I have had 3 rounds of these procedures, so I'm not saying that diet is a magic bullet. However, also worth noting, I've not had any procedures done on my hips, my knees, my ankles, or my feet. So that pain is sort of in my control, and I control that pain with food. And during the procedures, also when my back pain starts creeping back in before I'm able to go back to hospital again, my diet is what keeps me functional. And here's the interesting part throughout all of this. I very quickly lost 8 kilograms during this time. I was barely even moving. I was just walking when I could. There was no gym, there was no cardio. The transformation was all based on food and my diet. I didn't get there overnight, and I tried keto before and it made me feel awful. So the thing that changed this time is that I did it gradually. The first time I tried keto, I went all in. Day 1, no carbs, and I woke up feeling so bad. I wanted to throw up from eating all the fat, so I just quit. But the second time I gave myself like a month to adapt. I didn't just cut carbs overnight, I slowly reduced them. So in week 1, I just cut out all sugars and ultra processed foods. Then I cut out bread and then pasta, and then like week 2, I'm cutting out like rice and potatoes. By week 4, I was basically kind of carnivore, but including some fruit. Luckily I didn't get the keto flu. I mean, there was no crash, there was no issues with energy either. This is the mistake that I think most people make with keto. They try and just flip the switch in 24 hours and their body revolts. But your body needs time to shift from burning glucose to burning fat. And if you ease into it, your metabolism will adapt smoothly. There's no suffering like required in this process. So I also started fasting. I've read so many books on this topic. I've read Fast Like a Girl, Why We Get Sick, The Obesity Code, Stay Off My Operating Table, Lies My Doctor Told Me, and The Diabetes Code. I learned that like fasting isn't really about deprivation. It's about giving your insulin and your body a break. And when you give your body a break, it can finally start to heal and enter things like autophagy. So remember the fridge and the freezer that I mentioned earlier. Fasting is an amazing way to help you clear out the fridge, because it's how you give your body permission to just open the freezer and burn the stored fat. And when you combine that with low insulin from cutting carbs, then your body is finally able to access its own energy sources. The combination of slow carb reduction and fasting cycles was unlocking my weight like never before. I wasn't just losing weight either. I was reversing metabolic damage. I was restoring my insulin sensitivity. I was teaching my body that it was safe to burn fat again. And that's why for the first time in my life, the weight actually stayed off. Which brings me to the weirdest part of this journey. I actually stopped trying to maintain my weight. Over this whole time, I've lost about 12 kilograms, probably more now. Initially it was really fast, and then eventually I sort of hit a plateau, and then you drop a bit more and then start eating more, and you sort of just level out in the end. And I've stayed there for like over a year now, so there was no like white knuckling through it. I didn't have any cheat days or like guilt spirals and then going and binging. My theory is that when your body is healthy, when you're giving it what it needs, protein, healthy fats, and whole foods, it knows what weight it should be because it's removing the excess inflammation, any water retention, and it's able to access the stored energy that your body couldn't access before because insulin was always in the way. Once your hormones balance, your body finds its equilibrium and it just stays there. So no, you don't have to fight it. You don't have to count calories anymore. You just eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full, and trust your body to rest. You also removed a lot of the carbs that can increase your hunger signals and give you false hunger signals, like lots of high sugar types of foods tend to spur me on. I notice that if I start the day with something with carbs and sugar, throughout the rest of the day I'm craving more of those carbs and sugar. But if I start the day with something fatty, I can go hours and hours and hours without even thinking about food. It's amazing. And later in the day, I don't get those craving spirals either. So it's very easy to just eat what I feel like, because it's more like my body is craving what it needs rather than what like my brain wants, because it's tied to sugar. So these days I eat animal-based, but I'm flexible. I still have carbs. I'm just not using them as the base of my diet at all. It's protein first, fat second, although I am really trying to increase my fats. And then I use things like shirataki noodles or like cognac noodles instead of pasta. I eat eggs and berries with cream. I love adult cream because it's very high fat, almost no carbs at all. My performance in the gym is better, and now I can actually go to the gym. My energy is stable. My pain is really manageable. It doesn't feel restrictive. So let's just pause here for a second because I want to be really clear on something. There are many ways to lose weight. This is what worked for me, and I've seen it work for many, many others. But you're not me. Your body is different. Your history is different. Your current environment is different. And at the end of the day, you do need to do what's right for you. Although if you're watching this video, you're probably realizing that what you're currently doing isn't that right for you and you're looking for a solution. You need to figure out how your body responds to the food that you're eating and the environment that you're in. So that is the real work there, and it takes some experimentation and patience. I'm sharing my journey because I remember what it felt like to feel stuck, to feel like I was doing everything right and still failing, and I couldn't understand why I had so much nutrition knowledge and I was still at my heaviest weight ever. All I can do is share some science-backed metabolic nutrition theory that's worked for thousands of others and then tell you what happened when I applied that to my own personal life. And even if one person watching sees themselves in my story and thinks, maybe I should try that, then this video is worth it. So let me bring this full circle. You came here maybe expecting another weight loss story. Maybe you thought I'd talk about meal plans or calorie counts or how much intense cardio I did. But the reality is I didn't just lose weight. I fixed my metabolism, my relationship with food. I lowered my inflammation. I ended up clearing out my fridge so that my body could access the freezer. I removed the foods that would keep me inflamed, hungry, and stuck, and my body did the rest. I found having a solid why made all of the difference because I've been going through plateaus and I've gotten stuck so many times during this process, but knowing that it's a healthier choice for the long term and lowered my pain ended up being my why. If I had only attached my why to weight loss, I would have failed many times. Now, as a result of being genuinely healthier, I am 12 kilograms lighter with barely any chronic pain. The yo-yo cycle is now broken, and these days I'm hitting the gym 4 to 5 days a week. I'm horse riding, I'm walking my dog, I'm enjoying whole food, animal-based. I've got about 80-20 flexibility because I am human and it's reaching Christmas time as well. But if you want more information on the animal-based diet, the pros, the cons, what I wish I knew before starting, then you will love my next video. So hit subscribe so you don't miss when I post it. And if this resonated with you, please drop a comment and let me know what has been your biggest struggle with dieting. You've got this. Your body is on your side. You just have to give it the right tools.